Tenant relationships are a key component to the whole operation. So how do you set up a tenant relationship for success up front, and then how do you manage it going forward after that?
So getting back to the point around always looking to debrief when issues happen, I started getting really sick of having hard conversations at move out, and typically it was around they didn't know what the expectations were when they moved out, and I hadn't really set the policy, so there was like, hey, he said, she said type thing. So I started going on every move out, what went well and what didn't, and what didn't, the solution to that got thrown into an operations manual at the front, and now it's within this packet that I send every tenant at the front going, and I always joke, it's always the same joke, I don't like talking about move out on the day that you're moving in, but I just like you to understand what's going to be required of you to make that process easier. Because what they're going to do is they're going to think about that. They're going to operate within the house with thinking about those the whole way through. And like a key example is we've found that some people like to burn a candle on their dresser in their room to kind of create that ambiance. Everyone wants a candle. Well, they don't know that the cheap candles actually emit a soot, but when they move all their dresses and everything out after they leave, you can see that on the wall. And so a little bit of training up front saying, look, well, I get it. Everyone loves candles, but be aware that it's actually going to make your life harder when you move out, or you're going to be charged for it. So the bottom line here is set expectations at the beginning, and that actually helps strengthen tenant relationships throughout your whole tenancy. And it typically can help reduce your turnover too.
So specifically, how do you set those out? Do you have like a spreadsheet that says these are the most common issues that we see? Candles, showing up on the walls, don't do that? Or like, how do you have those conversations?
I have a 2-page document, and I'll be happy to share it too, that I call it my expectation tips and tricks. And so what I like to put together, like, when you go into a hotel for the evening, and there's a book there, it's your hotel directory. Hey, if you've got a frequently asked question, go there first. That's what I like to put together. And I call it my tenant pack, my welcome pack, whatever you want to label it. But it is a 2-pager, and every issue you have when a tenant moves out, you find a way to solve it, and you put a headline in that pack, and it grows. It's a live document. It gets bigger and bigger, and every new tenant, depending on the rate of learning, every new tenant gets a slightly modified version. It's just getting deeper and deeper. So as a part of that kind of that welcome pack, there's a letter that talks about how they best pay rent, how and who they call to get their utilities set up. There's all tips and tricks about their town, the town you're moving into. Hey, don't park on the street without calling into the non-emergency police number. It's all about giving them as much information as possible to settle them in the fastest. Because as soon as they settle in, usually your phone stops ringing, and they take a little bit of pride of ownership, and then they settle in, and typically your renewal rate is going to be a lot better too.
Hey, thanks a lot for tuning into this segment of the interview with Mark and Ben. They are business partners who have built a really impressive portfolio of about 70 rental properties. So if you want to hear the full interview, you can download it at any podcast player, or you can just go to the link in the description of this video. Also, Mark mentioned a resource that he put together. It's sort of a tips and expectations document that he gives to all his tenants before they move into a property. And he said it really cuts down on all the issues that pop up while they're living there and then eventually when they move out. So if you want a copy of that document, I've got it linked up in the description as well. Also, leave a comment below and let me know what you got out of this video. We make videos like this on a weekly basis, so hit subscribe and you'll get notified when new videos come out. Also, you can continue the conversation in the Living Off Rentals Facebook group. I hang out there. There's a lot of other rental property investors that hang out there, so you can get your questions answered. You can continue the discussion, and I will see you in the next video.